start at some point. Apparently, we are live. Hello,
Ooh, look at that.
everybody. What's
Hello,
up?
people on stream, people, farm animals. I'm not going to judge anybody who's watching, listening. Happy to have you along.
Yeah. Hello,
I
hello.
am connecting
Uh,
to our live stream. Don't know why I'm not connected.
Fantastico.
Oh, because I'm on Firefox. Yeah. Allow.
Oh, how is everybody on this Monday?
Monday,
Yeah.
Monday, Monday.
Wait, now you got me thinking. To walk in Spanish is caminar, right? Caminar.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm
Um,
like, had so
so
many years of Spanish.
right. I mean, honestly, I took Spanish. I took Spanish in high school, and a little bit in college just as an elective. But when I was younger, I had to take, well, it was fun because it was basically just like daycare. But after school, there was like Spanish classes because my parents worked and I kind of had to be somewhere for a while, you know. And so, for years, when I was really young, it was like Spanish class. So I rolled into high school Spanish like pretty good. It definitely got to the point where I was like, okay, now I'm not that good anymore. like, but like all of my elementary school Spanish like really did stick with me.
Yeah.
It's true what they say about, the younger you are when you start learning, the better you retain.
Yeah. I mean, you know the fundamentals, right? Like where's the
Yeah.
bathroom? Well, you can count and stuff. Like those are super, for people older learning, I'm learning Korean. It's like, okay, I still don't. It's kind of different in Korean. There's two separate counting systems, which drives me crazy. But like even just remembering one of them, yeah, there's the native and the Sino numbers. The Sino numbers are closer to Chinese, and that one is actually easier to remember. But when you use native versus Sino is like, I sometimes forget. Like the counting, you use one
Interesting.
set of number system versus, months and days, or the way you are anyway, long story. It's just like, whoa. But if I was younger, it's like it's snappier.
You just know. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even think about it necessarily. Yeah.
No.
Where when you're our age, it's like, explain to me when I use the one rather than the other. And someone's like, you just sort of feel it out. You're like, not good enough.
Not good enough.
Yes.
Why?
I need specifics.
Why?
That I actually went through this is a long time ago, but when I was getting into sort of French beyond like counting to 20 kind of thing. And what is one of the strangest things that anybody who already knows French better than me would laugh at, but I thought was so weird, is you get to 60 and then, it's 60, 61, 62, when you get to 70, it's 60 plus 10. That's the way you say it. There just isn't a word for 70. It's 60 plus 10.
Right. Okay.
So if you know that, okay, then you get to 80, and 80 is 20 times 4. That's how you say 80. So then when you get to 90,
70 plus 10.
Right, where I'm like, why do we even do it in the 70s? Because we're just going to change it up again once we get to 80. And then so when you get to 90, it's 20 times 4 plus 10.
Jeez. Okay.
It's crazy. I know.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way this is true. Like, am I being punked? And people are like, you just get used to it.
True. You just get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Oh, yeah. There's so many things like that in Korean that I'm like, maybe I'm sure that I can't think of it right now, but there's probably stuff like that in English too. Cause nobody's, so streamlined of a language. There's always something, but, that's so, I don't know, my brain at my age right now, like, I'm just trying to keep up.
I mean, I hats off to you. I think learning a language it's really fun. Well, I mean, if you want, unless you don't want to, then it wouldn't be fun. But it's really fun because it's so challenging at the same time. I mean, I've been with people who speak French and not English, or in France in general, whatever, where I'm
Mm.
just like, I can't do it anymore. I'm
Mhm.
so tired. Like I sorry. Let's just like do Google Translate.
Yeah.
Like I've run out of steam. You know,
Yeah.
I just can't do it. It really is. It's difficult mentally.
Yeah. Yeah, like, the early stages of learning Korean, I was like, "Okay, I got this. I got this." And then as we got, you know, 10 weeks in, it was just I was like, "Oh my god, I can't retain. I can't retain some of this stuff," like getting longer
Mm-hmm.
sentences, the type of conjugation. I was like, "Oh." There was a moment there where I was just like, "Oh, I'm just gonna hang on here and I'll just review, and I've got all my note cards and cool, but like it's just not. I have to go over it again. Like all my little note cards here."
Oh, that's so cute.
That's how they told me to like my teacher told me to like here's present anyway, long story
I
short,
mean, you,
it's still a
Eileen,
process.
I know we always talk about this, but you have got to come hang out in my neighborhood because I mean,
I
there are
know.
definitely Korean restaurants around here because I'm, right on the edge of Koreatown that,
Mhm.
I know and like, or at least I know what they are. But then there are others where I'm like, what is this? I
Oh,
just,
yeah.
because there's no, like, it's just,
It's
you've,
just
you've just
the
got the
Hangul, yeah.
kanji or,
Uh-huh.
whatever. Whatever it is in the Korean style. And I'm just like, there are people in there. It seems cool. I just want to know what it is.
I can help out. I think I
Yeah.
got some basics, especially because ordering food is like
Yeah.
it's a staple, right?
Well,
You
it's
gotta
more of just
learn.
even just on the outside of an establishment. I'm like, I mean, it's a restaurant, but I don't,
But what is it? What
what are we
kind?
doing?
Yeah.
Soup,
Yeah.
goat? I don't know.
Yeah.
In fact,
Fish. Yeah. Yeah.
there is actually one. This is funny. Pretty close to me, and it's just Korean lettering, and then underneath it says hashtag goat,
Oh, really?
GOAT. So I'm like,
Well,
are they kind of being like we're the goat of the
yeah.
neighborhood, like we're
Greatest
the
of all
greatest of all
time. Yeah.
time, or is it a goat delicacy? Because that changes my interest a
That
lot.
changes everything. You're like,
Yeah,
I may not
right.
like this type of
I don't
meat,
know. I don't know. I'll
know?
take a photo. I'll send it to
Oh
you.
my God, please, 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 please. Oh man. All right. Now you got me thinking. I'm like, well, it could be good lamb. Lamb, I don't really think of lamb for Korean food. It's mostly pork and beef and
Pork
chicken,
and beef and
you know.
chicken. Yeah. Yeah. I
But
mean, and even, I don't I think they're making a funny joke about being like we were the
greatest of all time.
first
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Maybe the restaurant I've only lived here for 6 months. So
Yeah.
maybe the restaurant has been here for 60 years. I don't know.
True. 100%.
So they're
Yeah.
like, we're the goat. But I'm like, like hashtag goat isn't going to be applied to this restaurant. It's like lots of people do that. I don't know. None of it makes sense to me.
Hey, you know what? Proud. Stay proud, confident. They're
That's
confident. They're
right.
like, it's
Yep.
us. We the
It's
ones.
us. Yeah.
All right. Shall we do this thing?
Let's
Count me
do it.
down, Sarah, and then I'll hit
Let's do
open
it.
whenever you're ready.
All right. In 3, 2. Hello, world. It is Apple Vision Show episode. Are we at 18? Eileen
18.
Rivera.
We are legal.
We
now.
are allowed to vote.
You should be scared. We're going to be voting for things that we want from Apple right now.
That's right. Oh my gosh, voting power.
Tim
But
Cook,
yes,
here we come.
but hello, everybody. Yes, along with Eileen Rivera, I'm Sarah Lynn. We're so happy to see you again. We did our show a day late last week for anybody who was watching the live stream and paying attention, just because we were getting around the Memorial Day holiday in the U.S. But we're back on a regular schedule, although next week it's going to be crazy again, Eileen. We're
It
kind
will.
of the calm before the storm right now.
Yeah, you and I've been talking about this like, wow, it's so calm right now. What are we going to talk about? Because after next week, all hell breaks loose. with whatever Apple's going to be talking
I
about
mean,
at
I
WWDC.
sort of hope it does.
I really do
Like,
too.
I
Give me
mean,
the
I don't
drama.
want like to be like unhappy, but otherwise
Right.
I'm like, let's break some things.
Yeah, like
Let's
we
get
already have.
weird.
I
Yeah.
feel like we got a taste of the drama with that, iPad ad, with the
Yep.
crushing. I
Yep.
was like, ooh, that's spicy. But like, give me more, give us more to talk about. So I'm ready. Like, just throw it at us. I mean, I don't know how long this keynote's going to be. Sarah, you told me it could be 2 hours. Like, here we go. It's been so
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
since I've
So,
listened to a
in
WWDC
fact,
keynote.
earlier, as we were getting ready to go live, Eileen was like, how long do these keynotes last?" And I like, back in the day, back in my day, they were maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But they've gone longer, and I just feel like not, and I'm not even talking about Apple specifically, but companies in general do
Mhm.
keynotes differently, do
Yeah.
announcements differently. We had
Mhm.
our COVID era, which, you could argue we're out of now, but, a lot of that meant that companies got a little bit more creative about here's what we have to show you. And
Mhm.
we're just not going to do it in an auditorium. And now, I mean, WWDC is definitely happening in person. Not
Mhm.
all of it is happening in person, but the keynote is, as far as we know,
Yeah.
unless something crazy happens between now and then.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, who knows? It's like it could be an hour. It could be. I don't think it's going to be less than an hour. I'll bet money on that. But
Yeah.
it could be two. It could be 2 hours
Ooh.
because I think if all of the rumors are going to come to light about what is being announced, Apple doesn't just go like, "Oh, and by the way, iOS 18 is better." Okay, next thing, like it's going to be like 20 minutes of talking about how it's better.
Yes, exactly. Detail
that's
by
that's the
detail.
point. That's the point of the of the event. So yeah, these if Apple has a lot to talk about, and I think, and we're going to talk about this in greater detail as we go forward, but especially like AI stuff,
Mhm.
Apple will want to position itself as the measured company that
Mm.
has been waiting in the wings to do it better than anyone has ever done it before, et cetera, et cetera. And that tends to make an announcement go on for a while, because it's not just like, "Oh yeah, us too." It's like, no, we've reinvented the wheel.
Can I show you my favorite meme about AI that I found
Yes.
on the internet right now? I think
Yeah.
people are calling it a meme, but I totally agree with this statement. There is a meme that says, "I want AI to do my laundry and dishes so that I can do art and writing, not for AI to do my art and writing so that I can do my laundry and dishes." Remember when we were talking about,
Yeah.
hey, if these robots could do our composting, like, I want this technology to do the stuff I don't want to do, right? I actually want to do the writing, I kind of agree with this in sort of the essence of it all. I don't know how you feel, Sarah, but like I saw this, I'm like, oh my God, I feel this. I feel
I
this.
feel this deeply. In fact, Roger Chang on DTNS, maybe it was Good Day Internet last week. We were talking about this, and he said the same thing where he was like, I don't need you to, like we were we were specifically talking about food delivery, so kitchen stuff, and he was like, I don't need like some service that I pay for to send me the food so I can make more creative meals. I just want someone to make the food. Like
Do it.
I have a busy household.
Mhm.
That's what I want. Not
Mhm.
that it isn't cool, but that doesn't actually give me any extra time in the day. And
Mhm.
so he was like, Rosie the robot, from
Yeah.
the Jetsons. That's
Yeah.
what I want.
Yeah.
That is what I want in my kitchen. So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to that. Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much that could possibly be said on Monday. Like, I don't know. First of all, I did want to say too, in case you're, waiting around, there is an Apple Music playlist right now for WWDC. I don't know if you've seen it yet, Sarah, but I was like, wait, a
Oh, I looked it
playlist?
up. I looked it
Yeah.
up, and
How are you
Eileen,
feeling?
I
Did you listen?
well, no, because I only saw it today.
Oh, uh-huh.
But I mean, okay, I don't want to sound like some old hag who has no idea what's going on in the world. But besides Billie Eilish, I don't know any of these bands.
I was hoping
And
that
now that's not true. Sabrina Carpenter, I've heard of, but
yes.
I don't kind of know what her style is. I just don't know her, but I've heard the name. Glass Animals, yeah, okay. I've heard of them, but like couldn't tell you one thing that they sing. I really need to get back into like what the kids are listening to.
Well, maybe, if you listen to this, I was hoping that it will just set me in a mood, like set the
Yeah,
mood. And we'll, maybe I'll feel very into more in tune with Apple or something like that. I don't know. I'm honestly, but yeah, the fact that they made a playlist here, I'm assuming these are artists that they want to profile in some sort of
sure.
creative
Yeah.
way.
Probably a lot of artists with new albums, and there's
Yeah.
a fun promotion for Apple Music there. Also, Apple is, I mean, with I think very few exceptions, this is all going to be pretty family friendly stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
Apple's not going to, have some expletive song be on the playlist. Because that just doesn't. That's not really what Apple does. Even though you can listen to that on Apple Music, but Apple's not gonna like, hey, that's just what you pay $10 a month for. It's not us. We don't do that. We're very for the people.
There is a couple E's in here though, Sarah. Shot Put by
Okay.
Still Woozy
True.
and
Now that I look
Drifting.
at it,
So, and I mean, it's not the majority, but they threw it a few, maybe
okay,
for
all
people who
right,
need
I
who are a little
stand
bit more
corrected.
adult.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Hell and Back, I guess. I'm gonna check it out. I meant to check it out on the weekend, and I had a bunch of stuff going on, but I'm gonna try and like have this, playing before the keynote.
You know
Get
what?
my
I'm going
feels.
to too. In
You know,
fact, after we wrap up here, I'm going to take my dog to the PARK.
oh yeah, don't say it out loud.
No, don't say it out loud. Although he's gotten so good now that he's like, I don't know what you spelled, but I know you spelled something in order to talk about me. Like he's like
My
halfway there,
yeah.
It's like me and my, learning French numbers.
Yeah,
But
actually, my
but
old dog. Oh, I was just about to say my old dog Django. She heard P and just like freaked out.
oh
I was like,
really?
I
Yeah.
can't even say the letter. But anyway,
Yeah. There was a point, and he's not in this room with me right now, but there was a point where when I lived in my old house, many moons ago, I was near the BEACH,
oh,
and I mean, if I said that word, it was pandemonium. And so it would be sometimes, said like that. If I, for whatever reason, was talking to somebody about it, like where I'm going, and eventually he caught on and he was like, yes. And I was like, I have to like spell it backwards or something. I have to get more creative. Because if I say it and then we don't go, he's like, oh, all day. Like
oh,
I
yeah,
thought we were doing the
they get,
BEACH.
yeah, they get
Yeah,
bummed out. Yeah,
they
got to be
do. They
careful.
do. They're
They
smarter
learn.
than we think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so going back to the Apple playlist about the WWDC Hello playlist, we will be going to the PARK a little bit later. Takes me a while, especially in the afternoon, LA traffic, et cetera, et
Yeah,
cetera. So I'm gonna bump this, and I will come back next week with my thoughts.
same.
Good.
All right. What are you feeling about the whole thing? I mean, there's just so many things that we think there's like a laundry list of things that are going to be discussed, all the different OSs.
Yeah.
And there's so many of them at this point, right? The watch, the TV, the Mac
Exactly.
OS,
Yeah.
the
So we've
iPad.
got iOS 18. iOS 18 gets the most love just because that's what iPhones are going to run. iPhones that are new enough to run it. iPad OS 18, which is in sync with iOS 18, but now different and has been for a few years. We've got Mac OS 15. We've got Watch OS 11, which is insane.
Crazy.
But okay, here we are. TV OS 18, Vision OS 2.
Ooh, yes.
I'm actually pretty. I'm excited about all of this stuff because I have an iPhone. I don't have an iPad that I use right now, but still interested. Mac OS, very much interested. Watch OS, totally. Wear my watch every day. TV OS, 100%. Have 2 in my house. Vision OS 2. Show me what's better.
Show me the money.
Let's do it. So it's like, I feel like I get something out of anything that they announce.
Exactly. It's like how far and how long will each announcement for each OS be? I found it interesting that some people were even trying to guess the new Mac OS name. Like, we're going with the West Coast, some of the guesses were like Redwood and Mammoth and Pacific and Sequoia. I'm like, oh wow, okay. I hadn't even thought about what the next Mac OS name would be. I'm just waiting to hear.
That's a good fun little like game to play. Like we're on Sonoma right now. What were we before Sonoma? Catalina? I think so.
Yeah.
And before that, Big Sur? Oh no, there's Maverick was in there. Anyway, this is all areas of the California region and specifically the coast.
Yep.
Now Sonoma, part of Sonoma County is on the coast, that's for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I think Pacific is probably not happening because it's you could be the Pacific Ocean in lots of countries. It's not specific enough to sort of the central California region. Mm-hmm. Although Catalina is definitely Southern California, so Sequoia, that's a good name. Love that name.
These were only a few that I grabbed from this like brain trust of an article. And I was like, oh, wow. There's so many areas of California to go with. I kind of liked Mammoth, but that's not water. It just feels like gigantic. This could be a big, gigantic, moment.
Yeah.
And so, the mountains and all of that stuff. I mean, Redwood too, the trees is so, tall. But I don't know. It was kind of fun to kind of guess like what it would be. What's the next name of our next West?
So when I said coast, I mean I forgot that we had macOS Yosemite nowhere near the coast. So it's more of just areas. And I mean Apple could branch out of that at any time, but they do not appear to be doing that anytime soon. No. So that's a really good question. I mean it's probably not, Solano.
It's not, Merced, Fresno.
Probably not. Lake. Yeah.
Lake.
No. I mean, Eileen and I, for anybody who doesn't live in California, I mean, these are counties that are perfectly wonderful, but just not really something that you would
not popular,
consider,
not
like sort of beautiful
tourist,
and touristy.
Not tourist destinations. They're usually like on the way to something, Bakersfield, love you Bakersfield, but you're kind of on the way on the 5, coming from north to
Kettleman
south
City, probably not going to be the new iOS.
Oh man, how many times have I stopped to get gas at Kettleman City?
I always tell people, I'm like, I will for sure stop in Kettleman City, and they're like, why? I'm like, well, because I don't know why.
There's just stuff there.
There's stuff there, yeah. Like you get gas. There's like food options.
Where's the like fruit? There's like a bunch of fruit stands,
Yeah,
Well, like Los Olivos. I don't know. I'm trying to remember how many trips have I taken up and down. Modesto, where Roger Chang is from, probably not. I don't know, but I could be wrong. What if that ends up being
macOS Modesto? If that's what it ends up being, you heard it here first. 0% that's happening, but I have been wrong before. Stockton.
Stockton.
Yeah.
Oh man, Watsonville.
Yeah.
Not Santa Cruz, but Watsonville, which is next door to
Watsonville.
Santa Cruz.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Tracy.
Tracy.
Let's do Tracy. Chico.
Oh,
Hey,
Chico.
has a great college. People
Hey,
love
love it.
Chico. I
Love
actually
it.
do love Chico. It's
Yeah,
just really
Chico's
hard to get
great.
to.
Yeah, these are all great cities. It's
These are all
just,
great cities. Yeah, no,
you
this
don't
is
think
we
of
say this with love.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I don't know, Victorville, Sarah. We could go there.
Yeah. Crescent City.
Crescent City.
Yeah.
Again, we are not making. We love. It's just the names, guys. We're
No,
just talking about
this
names,
is
not.
it's
Yeah.
it's like ribbing a family member. That's what we're
Tem-
doing. We're both Californians, and that's what we
Yes.
do.
I got one more. Temecula. There we go.
Ooh, yes, yes, yes. Home of tarantulas.
Wait, is that true?
I don't
Is
know.
Temecula? Oh, okay.
I know that I don't know. I think I just thought of tarantulas because
Okay.
I don't know. We were talking about
Temecula,
California long enough.
tarantulas.
No, actually, I think anything that is inland empire and south, far enough from the coast in Southern California, that's where the tarantulas are.
I grew up in the Inland Empire. Most of my life.
Well,
I haven't
so
really
I mean,
seen-
if you never saw any, then maybe it's just farther south than I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, maybe more like
like San Bernardino.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, deserty kind of stuff.
Let's just call it Palm Springs. There you go.
Yeah, right. The desert, the desert
desert.
with the spiders.
Coachella.
No, yeah, right. Coachella, Two Palms. Yeah. I knew somebody who was very fascinated with the Salton Sea.
Oh yeah, you know what? My parents took me to the Salton Sea several times.
Several
Growing up.
times. You're
Oh,
kidding.
yeah. There's
Oh my
fishing to
God.
be had
It should be
there.
Makua
Fishing.
Salton Sea.
Yes.
That would be the best. That would honestly, I would gasp. I
Tim
would.
Cook, change it right now. Whatever it is, just
Salton
change
Sea.
it. If you haven't thought about the Salton Sea, you should really change it right now.
So for anybody who is just like, what has happened to the show? What are they talking about? The Salton Sea on a map, if you look at it, it is basically due east of San Diego. So very far south
Yeah.
in the state. And it is a lake that has sort of, I don't know, gone back to nature.
It's been so long since I've been there, but
Yeah, Salton Sea is it's a strange place.
Sang
yeah.
Sang in our chat room says, been to Salton Sea once. I'm never going there again. LOL.
Oh, all right. Well,
Okay,
thank you
sorry.
for your honesty. Thank you
Yes.
for your I have not been there.
Yeah.
But a friend of mine, going back to tarantulas, was like, I just had to go. I wanted to like see it for myself. Because there are a lot of people who live there, but there's not a lot of sort of natural, water and minerals, and it's a strange place. And he was like, the tarantulas. Oh my gosh, Sarah. And I was like, say no more. I don't
remember
need
that.
to do that traverse. No, thank you.
I would think I was like 6 or 7. I don't even know if my sister, who's younger than me by like 8 years, I don't know that she's ever been. But when I was born, they tricked me out
They were
there.
like, let's do it.
And then maybe they decided after that would never again. I mean, we went a couple times and then that was it. So,
Well, I think also, I think the whole, the sort of folklore about the Salton Sea is that at one point it was just very much like a fun vacation destination.
yeah.
Take the kids. And, not to age ourselves, but when you were a little kid, that probably was the case. I live too far north, so, I never went with my parents, but yeah, things have changed around.
I think
around
so.
the Salton Sea.
I think it has. Now, I haven't been again since I was like, couldn't have been more than 10. My sister was already, but yeah, I don't think my sister's been. I should ask her. But yeah. Did they ever take you to the Salton Sea? I don't think we went as a family by the time she was born. But anyway, we were going to Vegas by then. It was like, no, we'll just go to Vegas instead.
Leveling up. Yeah. Yeah. Well, with the one kid, they're like, let's go to the Salton Sea. Two kids, they're like, you know what? Let's make this easy. Let's get a hotel in Vegas, do buffets. It's going to be great.
Exactly. And they could do the slot machines while we were like in the room. It's totally fine. But
Totally. Yeah.
sorry, Salton Sea enthusiasts. We, I nothing, no ill will.
I'm still interested in it.
Okay.
I even look up probably Salton Sea photos like a couple times a year where I'm just like, what's going on down there? It feels like the Wild West in a way that I don't really know what else we have in California that feels like that at this point. But anyway, to come back to our conversation about what will be announced next week at WWDC, iOS 18, I think most of the leaks are all but, a lock at this point.
100%.
And, some of it is, the AI stuff. And again, this is going to depend very much on how Apple positions itself in this game. It is, even saying AI, and maybe it's because we talk about tech, we work in tech, where someone says AI and I kind of do like an eye roll, like, yeah, what? What now?
What now?
Like everybody, like that's all anyone talks about. It's a buzzword, but if a company can do something different and again, as we were talking last week, it's like, what do you want, your iPhone, your iPad, your watch, your Apple TV, like what do you need that you don't have right now? Sometimes that's a hard question to answer. But if Siri is, I don't know, even like rebranded, I doubt they'll do that. But let's just say in a crazy world, let's say that, it's like, Siri, no one really likes Siri that much. It's just sort of there, but like, what if it's rebranded and becomes this whole like new AI portion of iOS 18? That would be wild. I'd be into it.
There's all these rumors, obviously the potential or upcoming partnership with OpenAI, that maybe this is their introduction, right? And then there's all the controversy of, with Scarlett Johansson and the actual use of the particular voice actress who voiced that, whatever, that's a separate thing. But like, there's just a lot of swirling around that. And I feel like that and Siri, because let's just face it, a lot of us want Siri to be better. I mean, as much as, I don't use her that much. I actually, if I'm going to compete, I use Alexa more. I just do. She has become more reliable for me, but I would like to, pick up my phone and do that also. But she has not been that great. I'm sorry. Or whoever, if you use
whoever the voice
whoever
is
your Siri is,
you decide to choose. I actually did a mail for a while, and I was like,
you did?
Yeah, well, just to try it, because who cares? And I was like, yeah, no, I prefer the female. I don't know what that says about me. I mean, I don't think much, but yeah, I was like, no, I like the female voice better. But maybe it was because I was just used to it before. Yeah. It's funny. Justin Robert Young, on last Thursday's episode of DTNS, we were talking about just assistants in general. And he was like, isn't it funny how Siri is worse than she ever was? Like she used to be limited, and now she's just worse than that. And I'm like, I don't know that I have experienced her being worse.
Yeah.
I just don't think she's ever been better.
Yeah. I think she kind of just stayed consistently in the mid.
Yeah. Mid. Like I know how to ask a certain query and get an answer.
Yeah.
Something very specific. But like if I try to get creative, she'll say like, here's something I found on the web. And I'm like,
Exactly. And I'm
oh,
like,
I'm in the
what?
car. Ah.
And I'm sorry, but Alexa really, she gives me the goods and I've seen her get better. I've seen her like
Mm,
actually understand, like, oh, she's, she got this. And the improvements I've seen with Alexa far outweigh Siri for me. And so that's what I'm hoping for, is that this new, like, if AI makes Siri better, maybe I'll use her more. But Alexa's got in my opinion, she's in the lead. And maybe, I don't know, I don't use Google Voice. I have a Google device. I don't want to say, hey,
right.
I don't use it as much, but yeah, just in my experience with Alexa. And I used to fight with, I used to say Alexa was not my friend because she didn't want to understand me. And now we're friends.
You're,
We're friends. We might even be besties.
oh wow. Yeah. It's funny. I feel the same. I use, Amazon's Assistant for all my home devices. Like
Yeah,
that's
same.
what I've got going on. I could use HomeKit, which would be,
Mhm.
Apple's version of this. I don't know. I never really switched over. But
Same.
when I'm in my car doing CarPlay stuff, whatever, I
Oh.
am using Siri. So
Mhm.
I've got both, but being on the go, I'm what am I really doing? It's like
Yeah.
when I'm on the go, I'm trying to play a song, trying to
Mhm.
play a podcast, trying to either call or message a friend, and
Mhm.
that's kind of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or using the map capabilities,
Map.
but like
Right.
I usually just like, fire that up before I get going anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not trying all that hard to be like,
Mhm.
what are you capable of? So I'm sorry, Siri, for any Siri apologist out there who's like, she's better than ever. Do let me know, because I don't really know that. But I also feel like at home, it's sort of the same thing. It's like, what
Mhm.
do I use Alexa for? Mostly to turn on and off my lights. I
Mhm.
have certain routines that I have set up about lights and when it's sunset, lights come on type thing, just so I don't have to like manually turn off a bunch of lights throughout the house. But that's pretty silly. I mean, I have a lot of friends who are like, you really, it's like that hard for you to turn on and off your own lights? And I'm like, no, it's just cool that I
Yeah.
don't have to.
It's
It's not that
convenient to
hard.
me. It's
It's
easy to
super
just say,
convenient. Oh, I mean,
you know.
there are times where last night, for example, went to bed, was
Mhm.
like, hey, you
Yeah.
know her name.
Yeah.
Turn off living room lights.
Yeah.
And I see them go off and I'm like, yes. Oh, turn off bathroom light. Yes. Okay. All
Yeah, you
right.
don't have
Now
to
we're
get
good.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't
exactly.
have to
Because I
get
was already tucked in and I had just forgotten.
It's perfect. I
Yeah.
just, yeah. Oh, we'll ask her some trivia questions too, just, how old an actor is or how old a person is. And,
Hmm.
every morning I'm asking her, like, hey, what's the weather today? Even though I can look on my phone, but I just, I like to hear a voice tell me. Sometimes it doesn't always match. Sometimes I'm like, really?
Hmm.
You think it's raining? I don't think it's raining out there, Alexa, but that's okay.
There are times where I'm like, raining currently? Clearly it
Whoa.
isn't.
I don't think
So,
so where I'm
yeah.
at.
Yeah, I mean it's
Okay.
cloudy, but not really. Yeah, my routine has changed a little bit at my current house, just I don't know why. But at my old house, when I would wake up in the morning, I would say, "Good morning, Alexa." And my routine that I had set up was she would also tell me good morning, tell me the weather for the day, go into NPR, top
Mm,
news,
mhm.
then go to the Economist,
Oh,
which sometimes I would bounce out of if I just kind of
mm,
didn't have time for it. But I was like, this is amazing.
I know.
It's just like I'm awake, and they're like, here is information that is helping you.
Here's how to
It's
start
great.
your day
It's
right, you
great.
know?
I
Yeah.
didn't touch anything. Didn't use my phone. All I did was say like, "Hey friend." tell me things.
It's
So
just
yeah,
so boring.
I'm still very bullish on home assistants. I know that they're going to get better, and many people think that they aren't as good as they should be.
Mm.
And I don't know. Your mileage may vary, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I want to use Siri to do more things with various apps. So hopefully we'll see a demonstration that makes sense for me to, use it with I don't know, even like shortcuts or like finding things on my phone or I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, or notes, reminders. I kind of want to see what else we could do with it. Hopefully the system will get smarter with any kind of collaboration with AI or open AI or whoever it may be that we're going to be wildly like we're going to be blown away. I'm going to stay positive. We're going to be blown away
Yeah.
along with the
Let
emojis
let
that I
let
talked about.
let's expect to be blown away until we're not. But maybe we will be. So
The glass is half full. I'm usually the
yes, the
opposite,
glass.
but right now,
This is my glasses of tea is third full. That
they're full.
counts. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're good.
Bring it, Apple. Bring it.
Bring it,
Yeah,
Apple.
I am curious about the Mac OS stuff. Just, purely with AI and like, I feel like now I'm starting to have an older Pro. I'm hoping that I don't have to upgrade. You know how we were talking about like, oh, you got to upgrade to use the new pencil and some of the new AI features for the
Yeah,
iPad,
yeah.
right?
Hmm.
I hope I don't have to for, my little Mac Pro. I'm still very happy with it. I don't have to change it, but tell me it's my little M1 Pro. Please tell me I can use all the cool
Not the
stuff with
Mac
it.
Pro, MacBook Pro.
MacBook Pro. Sorry. Yes,
Yeah,
MacBook
yeah,
Pro.
yeah, yeah. I was like M1 Mac Pro. I mean, that should last you a while. Yeah. Well, listen, y'all, we are going to take a quick break and come back and talk a little bit more about iOS 18 because there are a lot of rumors out there.
Maybe I should run the thing real quick. Sorry.
Eh,
Hey, one sec. One sec. Here we go.
yeah,
It helps me in the edit more than anything.
totally. No, I get it. Oh, I get it. Uh, this morning when I did daily tech headlines, I I'm not going to call anybody out, but there are other people who are like, "Oh, just do it all in one take." And I'm like, "That's impossible. That is impossible. I can't do that. I'm not capable of doing that. I think I'm a pretty smart person, but I
Mm,
can't do that. I have to go in and edit it later." So,
mhm.
yes, yeah. Editing is the spice of life. Okay, so iOS 18 rumors, Eileen. We've
Mhm.
we've definitely gone over some of them. We obviously hope that Siri becomes, a super robot and can do everything.
Mhm.
Maybe leaves us to the creativity and does all the laundry and cooking. But
Yes.
hopefully that becomes better. There are other rumors, specifically how you can organize your home screen. I don't know how much I care about that.
Mhm.
I think it was, okay, so if we're iOS 17 now, I think it was iOS 15, if I'm not mistaken, where we were allowed to start pinning widgets to the home
Oh, right.
screen.
Mhm.
Maybe iOS 16.
Mm.
And I was like, this is great because, I've got a, speaking of weather, I've got a weather widget top
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Top left is my Apple Health app that I
Oh,
make a widget because I just want to see that stuff a little bit,
okay.
larger.
Yeah.
And the rest of are just I don't know, the app icons I think that I need to use the most.
Mhm.
But Apple does or has historically limited exactly how customized you can make your home screen.
Mhm.
Part of it is, for example, like you can't like get rid of the settings app. I mean, why would you ever
Yeah,
want to? I don't
I
know,
know.
but just stuff like that.
Yeah.
People like to have control and
Yeah.
they want things to look their way, different colors and that sort of stuff. So, I don't know. I mean, is there anything that you feel like you can't do right now on iOS that you would like to hear about?
You mean as relates to the home screen or just anything in general?
Well, yeah, I guess design in general.
Oh, design in general. Design wise, I mean, I'm not a designer, so I like to tinker. I like to change things. I like to change my wallpaper and stuff. So, no, not really. I mean, I want to be able to, and you can do this with third party apps right now. You can just, make your main screen more minimal than all the blocky, apps on there like I have right now. And maybe that'll help with your, sort of emotional state of like there's too much going on with my phone. you know Currently I'm looking at, I'm like, geez, why do I even have all of these like notification bubbles of like, do I need that? No, it's just making me a little anxious. But I would like to tinker. There's a lot of widgets that I don't think work as well as they do, and then the offering of certain
Yeah.
apps as widgets, I'm like, I don't like this, so I'm not going to use it. um, but there's nothing, right off the top of my head that's like, this has to happen for me. But I know there's other people that have like other desires, I mean, I think for me, the most important is like just the operating system itself. Like, you know, um, hopefully we get, RCS, with the messenger app. We could, like even just this past weekend or going back and forth, my brother-in-law is the lone Android person. And even though my sister on iPhone is sending a video, it just went and it looks all pixelated and gross. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to tell her to resend it, but I don't know. It looks like they're cherry picking. I don't know what's happening in there. So, as a function, I hope something in that world happens. But design
Yeah.
wise, I don't know if this relates, but like better photo editing, I think would be cool. There is some things because I do have an Android phone. It's really easy to like mask someone out within the camera app.
Right.
Take the
Yes.
photo and like
Mm-hmm.
I have a photo where, we're at the movie theater and there's a bunch of people. So easy to delete. I mean, you can go to a third party app and do that, obviously with your phone, but it's in the camera app in the Sam and it's just boom and they're gone. They don't even I was like,
Right.
hey, I
Yeah.
don't go anywhere. And it's easy. So stuff like that would be kind of cool. I know people are talking about AI photo editing and stuff like how far are we going to go with that? Like I'm a little worried. Um, but
I mean, there's a whole meme. Well, I don't know if you would even call it a meme, but like there's a trend of people who are like, here's the photo I actually took, and here's how great it was, on my Pixel phone or whatever, just being like, all
yeah.
right, get those other people out of the beach shot. There's
Mhm.
a ton of those. And, sometimes you're like, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, I don't know that Apple definitely is, creator focused.
Yeah.
Always has been, but very much at this point. And, there's so much of like, here's what you as a guitarist can do. Or I'm like, well, I'm not a guitarist. Just show me how to like get people out of the beach shot on my photo, which you also can do on iOS. But yeah, I don't feel like there's like this like fun magic, button that you push.
Mhm.
Apple isn't. It's like I don't really use any third party photo editing apps, even though I have like a whole, I have like 10 of them
Mhm.
that, probably are still great, or who even knows if anyone's
Mhm.
working there anymore. Just because I felt like, Apple's, I don't know, the editing capabilities were what I needed.
Yeah.
I didn't need to go like so hipstamatic type, crazy
Mhm.
anymore. And, part of that was also like, Instagram and Instagram used to be like, oh, you try to, be like a real artiste with
Mhm.
different filters. And now I'm like, is anyone really doing that? I mean, I know people touch up photos.
Yeah.
That's a thing that people do, but I don't know how many people are like, "Ooh, I made this photo black and white just because," and like posted it to Instagram. I don't know. Like it feels like we had so much fun with that stuff, and now it's like it's there if you want it, but most
Mhm.
people just want something to look clear, crisp, in
Yeah.
focus, and like, if I have a zit on my forehead, I just get rid of that.
Honestly, the kids today are just buying digital cameras or film cameras, and they're going back to basics instead of and going and processing them at photo processing places and getting them printed. Like they're the kids that missed out on that situation, which I don't miss at all. That's how they're going back and doing all that stuff that apps changed or developed to do for your phone. They're just like, oh, we're just going to go use the old cameras anyways and get that cool effect, with a digital camera. At least that's what I'm seeing right now. Some of the kids, they're all kind of like, it's a hip thing to get some of those digital cameras too that these kids are buying. I'm like, oh my God, I had that one. I could not wait for just the ability to have my phone to take the photo and just manipulate how I wanted to later.
Totally. I mean,
But
it's for anybody who's listening, you will not, well, I guess you can't really see it anyway,
oh,
but
I see
like
some. Yeah.
this little
Yeah.
cubby is all my old
There it
digital
is.
cameras.
The kids would want your cameras right now,
Yeah,
Sarah.
yeah.
They really would.
And nothing wrong with them. I mean, I can't part with them because I can't.
Yeah.
I can part with a laptop, no problem. My
Yeah, you
data's on
already
another
own 'em.
laptop, we're good. But I'm like, I can't throw away a camera. I just can't. There's
Yeah.
something about
No.
that. But yes, I used to work at a photo processing place.
Oh.
Yeah, in my hometown. So, I saw a lot of people's, personal photos because you process them and you
Wow.
give them back to
Wow.
them. But
Wow.
yes, this is actually sort of pre-digital camera. I
Mm.
guess there were some,
Mhm.
but yeah, it was mostly film, and yeah, I don't know. Like I could not tell you unless it was like a specialty place
Yeah.
where I would do that today. But I guess the kids
Yeah.
know. The kids
They
know.
know. I think you could can you still do that at like Walmart, CVS, or not Walmart, Walgreens, CVS? This is for the United States
Probably.
people. I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah.
I think so. Real quick here, Jim Cause says, how about placing icons wherever you want on the home screen instead of yeah. Like I said, there's actually third-party apps that you can block parts of your screen and then it'll look like your app is floating. But how much easier would it be to just be able to choose where you want that icon to be without having to use a third party app? I'm okay. I think that's cool. That's what I meant about the minimalism. Like instead of I don't know, just having the ability to design your home screen any way you want, I think would be cool. But like you said, Sarah, it's all about control.
It is. It is. Or options. Just having options.
Mhm.
W Scottus one in chat also said, "Am I the only one who misses the skeuomorphism of iOS before
Ah.
iOS 7?" I don't remember that it was iOS 7 specifically, but I believe you, W Scottus. But when that whole sort of like we gotta flatten all the icons.
Uh-huh.
Google was doing it. Apple was doing it. Like this was sort of a design trend in general. And at the time, I was like, "What? Why do we care?" And
Mhm.
but I, first of all, not a designer myself. But once it changed, as any icon, particularly on my home screen, if that company decides to update the icon, right, like for a week, I'm like, oh my God, it looks so weird. Then I forget about it, and I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't. The whole sort of like, do you want a flat, flattened icon, flattened version of a record player, or, yeah, the settings icon used to be, 3D kind of thing. I just don't care.
Mm.
I feel like whatever, I guess the higher ups in the design departments of these companies decide to do, I'm like, well, I mean, you're going to do it anyway, so do it and I'll just get used to it. But I never really understood the hatred for skeuomorphism.
Hmm. I mean, the community of Apple are, I know that there's like the general user that there's a lot of general, but there's a huge creative community. So I'm not surprised with, sort of the uproar because everybody has an opinion, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's why it's more critical in, or at least for that example. Um, but yeah, I don't, people love to hate. So, but it's an opinion and it's one of many. So
It
I think.
is. And maybe again, this has a lot to do with like the long game that companies have. A company being like, we have now, 10-year-old kids who are going to get iPhones. I mean, not every
Mm,
kid who's 10 years old has one or should get an iPhone, but where the kind of like rotary reference for a phone, or a variety of things where some of us who are a little bit older are like, yeah, no, I get it. It's like they wanted to, I don't know, start from scratch, make it
mm,
cleaner, make it,
mhm,
make it feel, I don't know, just younger, and, colors pop better type stuff.
mhm.
All of that is, again, didn't go to design school. I've got some design friends who would be like, oh my gosh, Sarah, you're the worst right now. Like, we all care about this so much. I just don't. I never have. I'm like, you're gonna give me the look that you're giving me, and I'll just deal with it. As long as I
Don't you
can see.
don't you think the design is going to be more closely aligned to Vision OS maybe?
I would hope so. I would hope so.
To
Yeah.
have more of
So
a continuity with all, iOS, iPad OS, Mac OS, and Vision and Watch, whatever. Like there's, they introduced something new with Vision, and I feel like if that's the way they're going to go, would we not like just slightly tweak the other OSs to kind of
yeah.
all match? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that what Apple has done with iOS and iPad OS. I
Mhm.
mean, I know a lot of people still want Mac OS to be able to run on an iPad, but iPad OS and iOS are pretty in sync. They're not exactly the same. They used to be the same, and I think that Apple has done a pretty good job with that. Vision OS, oh my gosh, Eileen. I mean, talk about something that I'm excited about. I don't have anything. The only the only qualms I have with Vision OS is like, I just need more reasons to use it.
Mhm.
I will watch a movie all day. That is so fun. People talk about it being heavy, and I'm like, you could just like lay and watch a movie. It's fine.
Mhm.
There are things that it is so good for me
Yeah.
specifically, but I'm like, what's next? Like I can, and again, I was talking about this on DTNS last week. It's like I could wear my Vision Pro headset and do work, and just like use that as my screen instead of the screen that I'm looking at right now, and
Mhm.
connect it to my keyboard. I couldn't do my work with the virtual keyboard.
Mhm.
It wouldn't be fast enough.
Yeah.
But it's pretty easy to be like, no, I want all this other stuff, but just use this. But I'm
Yeah.
like, but I'm like, unless I'm doing it just to say I did it, but I already have a screen.
Mm.
If my
Mhm.
screen like just like burned out tomorrow, then I'd be like, I could do that. But then, does anyone want me to be wearing that, during a show? That's a little strange, like it gets weird. So I want Apple, Apple I think is well aware that a lot of developers are like, interesting product. A lot of consumers are like, interesting but too expensive because I don't know what to do with it.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
then you've got, the people in the medical field and
Hmm.
certain specific niche cases where people are like, this is actually really amazing. So, we're kind of in the developer product has caught on in small doses.
Hmm.
And, besides people like us, who are obviously, journalists, enthusiasts, and other people who are curious, not really something I would suggest somebody gets.
Yeah.
But let's see what Apple comes up with next week.
I was talking to an old boss of mine. Hi, Chris, if you're listening. I don't know if I told him listen to our podcast.
Hey, Chris.
He is in currently working on AI stuff, so he's obviously an enthusiast. But in a practical sense, I said, well, what do you use it for? And he's like, Eileen, you know what I do? I sit in my office, I put that Vision OS on, and I focus for 2 hours. He's got the headphones on. No, he doesn't have the distraction of kids or anything else going on outside of him. He just sees the Vision OS. And yeah, you could see around you, but he tells me it helps him focus and really just target for 2 hours work. And then, he's not getting distracted with looking, on the other side or hearing other things, and I said, okay, that's interesting. I could see how, because how we talked about before that it's so isolating. You're not
Yeah.
able to really kind of communicate well with others while you have it on. And so he's taking that, sense of that
In
part of
the
the
other
device and
direction and being like,
using
no,
it
it's good.
because now I can just do my work and not be, and yes, he can get text messages or whatever through the Vision OS, but he could also turn that off, So he's able to work and really kind of like use it as a productivity tool in an office sense. And I thought, okay, that's interesting. Like that's a real world application. And again, he is an enthusiast. He knows not many people have this device, but as something, where is it helping him outside of doing something fun with entertainment? It is helping him focus on day-to-day work.
I think
So
a lot of that too is it just we're creatures of habit, many of us
mhm,
are. And for example, the headphones I'm wearing right now,
mm,
when we're not on the show and I don't need to wear my headphones, I, sometimes take them off, but I often just instinctively just put them on because they
mm,
just feel comfortable.
mm,
Like
mhm.
I
Yeah,
have external speakers. I don't need to wear them
yeah,
unless I am doing this, honestly.
yeah.
But I just I don't know, they're comforting. And so the Vision Pro, I'm not quite there yet. I feel like
Mhm,
it's still to the point for me where I'm like, okay, I'm doing this, things are different.
mhm.
But like you were saying, like your former boss being like, this works for me.
Yeah,
This is something where I can be productive and just like helps me do my thing better.
mhm.
That's really the sweet sauce of all of
Yeah,
this. We
yeah,
just need more people to say like, oh yeah, I have to have the Vision Pro or I can't focus. Well, I mean, we don't need to. Apple does.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
personally need you to all use. No, I don't. But yeah, like that's interesting. But I do
yeah,
think that makes a lot of sense. It's a habitual something that works, and like making coffee every morning. You just want to
exactly.
do it. You
You
want
put
to
it
do
on.
it, and that's what makes you feel comfortable.
Mhm, and it blocks out everything, and
Yeah.
you can make it really you could just when you put those, like, scenic backgrounds, you don't even see your home, you don't have to see the stuff around you, and I think that's what he does, so, anyway,
Right.
just an
Right.
example,
Yeah.
people were like, "That thing, why would I ever get it?" Well,
Well,
some
yeah.
people it could be used in that way, so Yeah, I don't know. I'm super excited about iOS 18. I'm still holding on to those AI generated emojis that we talked about last week. I think it's. I feel like that one keeps popping up in the rumors. I'm like, it's totally happening, guys. It's totally happening. Is it going to work well? I don't know. That I might get what I wish for and go, what the what?
I'm into it. I am. I there are there are so many times where I'm well aware of most emoji that are afforded to me.
Yeah.
But even so, sometimes I'm just like, I don't feel like scrolling through and they're not in my recents. So I'll say, in the search bar, like, person who is mad. And like nothing comes up where I'm like, yeah, no, I knew it wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like if my emoji queries
Yes.
could, be better interpreted, I would love that. Because sometimes I'm
100%.
just like, just show me the emoji that's perfect for my feeling right now.
Yes. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
just give me an
it's not
option to
it's not a
change
it's
one
not a
of them.
bowl of ramen. It's not a person crying. It's not my zodiac sign. It's like something somewhere in between all of that.
I don't want. I never use the flags. I never,
I
like.
never use the flags.
I mean, maybe once in a while if I'm like, I am in Korea, like, you know, if I'm actually
Yeah.
in the place, you
Right.
know.
Or like if I was
Uh,
at the US Open and like a American won the US Open, I might be like,
yeah.
"Ooh, yay, USA."
But I don't
But
think
yeah,
I'm
no
sending
flags.
anybody text messages with the American flag on Independence Day. I mean, I'm not. I don't know about you. Maybe I
No, it
should.
feels a little on the
America,
nose.
America,
It's
America,
like,
America.
yeah, we know what we're doing already today. We don't need it. Yeah. It's like wearing like a, flag shirt. I'm like, do I need to do that? Everybody knows what
Oh
day
my
it is.
god. Oh my god.
Well, Eileen, as we roll further into the show, the pre WWDC show, which will live in
Yes.
infamy.
Yes.
What are you interested in watching on Apple TV Plus?
Well, thank you for asking. I haven't watched a lot of Apple TV Plus. I tried I just got distracted with a bunch of other stuff. I wanted to watch the Maya Rudolph show, but I didn't get a chance to do that yet, but I think I will. What I am going to watch coming up on August 23rd is season 2 of Pachinko, which I really love season 1. It's the story of generations in of a family in Korea and basically how their lives have unfolded over, I don't know, let's say take the 40s through, present day. And there
Mm-hmm.
are a lot of, and there's a lot of like, the 30s, 40s were still sort of occupied by Japan and Korea and how that affected Korean
Mm-hmm.
citizens and what they had to do. And then, moving into, like the 80s and, what has happened to this family since then. Some of them have migrated to Japan, it's a very, I don't know, it's a very touching and yet grounded story that I'm really excited for season 2 because there was some cliffhangers. I don't even know if, let's say, I don't know that you really needed a season 2. You can kind of leave it where it was because we saw past and present, but there's still a lot of questions in between. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
really excited. It was very highly rated, when it came out.
I mean,
And
I can't believe I have not watched this. This
it's
is
been
right in my wheelhouse.
yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, the tale of, hardship and, then you're like, "Wait, how did they become owners of a pachinko outlet in the 80s? And what happened to this ex-husband or this lover of the main character, And
Mm-hmm.
she had, a child out of wedlock but had to marry a different man in order to kind of save her from, I don't know, like real life purgatory. So I don't know. I don't think I did the greatest job in explaining the show, but it's
Just,
definitely worth.
you know.
Season 1 is an amazing season, and I'm really excited to see what happens on season 2. And one of the actresses is from Minari, who won the Academy Award for Best Actress. So she plays,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes, she plays the main female character in her later years. So it's really worth it. You've got some top rated acting on the show, and it's a really like the story tugs at your heart. So that's what I'm gonna be watching in August for sure. On
Have
August
not
19th.
personally been to Korea. I know you have.
Mhm.
But when I went to Japan just the once,
Mhm.
some years ago, but I was there in several cities for the better part of a month.
Mm.
I was like, I mean, I think I had heard of pachinko, kind
Mm.
of,
Mhm.
just,
Like,
as, a
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
But I became obsessed with
Oh.
like pachinko bars.
Oh, you would love this because
Yeah.
they were anyway. It's
Yeah,
not centered
because
on
it's
it, but
just like you walk in and like, well, I mean, at least in 2012, everyone's smoking and it
yeah.
just like is very throwbacky and the
Uh-huh.
pachinko and I'm like, what is happening? And like like a lot of men, mostly men, but not all. And it's like this phenomenon where I was just like, I need more. I need to know more. I need to know more about this. So yeah, pachinko sounds right up my alley. That's a good one. I'm also really looking forward to Severance season 2. So if you
Yeah.
haven't seen the first season, I couldn't even possibly explain this to you, which in a way that would make any sense without just completely spoiling everything. If you haven't watched it, it is an adult themed show. It's not like not like a cursing and nudity type show, but it's adult. It's a brain teaser kind of a show, but it is just a delight. And this second season was renewed at the end of the first season, which I believe ended at the end of 2019, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah. So a couple, few years ago now, and the apparently writer strikes, actor strikes, variety of things in Hollywood put it on ice for a little bit, but the show is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Eileen, before we started the show, you and I both tried valiantly to find out when it's premiering, and we couldn't figure it out in any
No.
easy way. So whatever. I've got The Bear on Netflix, so I'm good. But but yes, I am very, very excited about Severance. One of the best shows and just creative and very strange that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I actually forgot, as I am playing the trailer for first season here, that it was from Ben Stiller. I
Yeah.
just saw it and I was like,
Yeah.
"Wait a minute, I totally forgot about that." I mean,
Yeah, and
and
he's not in the show. He's
no.
just, he's just directing it, which
Yeah.
is, I mean, kudos to you, man.
Yeah, and as I'm seeing the visuals of the show, right, Patricia Arquette, man, Adam
Yeah.
Scott, like they, what an amazing cast, right? Like it
Yeah.
just so many twists and turns, but really like this is definitely a show you cannot be distracted. You have to watch and pay
You have to,
attention to,
oh
you
gosh.
can't just like
Yeah.
have it on. There's too
No,
many
no,
things
no.
that happen in it that
Well,
are,
and and again, I'm trying really hard not to be a spoiler person.
yeah.
Even though all of you listening should have watched season 1 already, but no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But one of the things, and this is not a spoiler, but one of the things is that it takes place in a wintry but very ambiguous location.
Yeah.
It's never clear where they are, really what year it is. The cars are kind of old but everything else is kind of new. So you figure like, oh, so this isn't like the 1960s, but like I guess he's just like driving an old Volkswagen. Like
Yeah.
there's so many things about it that are head scratchers.
Yeah.
And it's just a delight. It really is.
Kudos to that. John Turturro, Christopher Walken.
I mean, come on. I mean, come on. You don't get better than that.
Oh, anyway,
Well,
yeah.
as we now that we're just kvetching over TV shows. Oh, by the way, this is not an Apple TV Plus anything, but I did watch Back to Black, the Amy Winehouse movie over the
Oh,
weekend.
how was it? I feel like it would be so sad to watch that, but how was it?
It was okay. It was okay.
Okay.
So I think that so for anybody, first of all, I'm a big fan of hers. And some years ago, I think probably, gosh, I mean, maybe 10 years ago, there was the documentary called Amy that was all that, just like straight up footage, that her family and a sequence of events. So I was pretty dialed into like, oh, this is how things went,
Yeah.
at least according to these documentarians. This movie is a much sort of like sunnier, cutesy
Oh, it is.
version of everything. I mean, not totally. The movie
Okay.
definitely has its moments, but it's
Okay.
more of a, it's a Hollywood movie.
Okay,
It's
okay.
not a
Yeah.
documentary. It's,
Yeah.
somebody playing her. And
I see.
what's
Okay.
weird about it is that they have recreated a few just sort of like well-known things that happened, when she won Album of the Year. It's like, I mean, that's like, you can look it up on
Iconic, yeah.
YouTube. I mean, but
Yeah.
in the movie, like they changed things where I'm like, why? Why
Oh, they
you change
did?
a few things. I think they were just trying to, I don't know, like streamline the movie. Anyway, don't mean to digress too much, but I thought it was honestly, yeah, like historically, maybe not
Super
the
accurate.
best. Yeah, exactly. Maybe not that accurate, but pretty good movie. Pretty good movie.
I didn't realize it was a dramatization because I saw the documentary, and so I just go, "Oh, I don't know if I can go back there."
Right, right.
and watch
Because
that.
it's a
It's
lot
so
of the
sad.
material is kind of bleak.
Yeah.
So this was it was I don't know. I liked it more than I thought I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I
Thumbs up
also-
from Sarah.
Eileen and I both live in LA, and I mean, I'll tell you, like 70% of all billboards in LA are just like that billboard, Back to Black, Amy Winehouse's story finally told, where I'm like, wasn't it told already?
It was told so many times.
like quite a bit.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
tabloids and then a documentary, but okay, let's do it again.
Well, I might check that out. Thank you for the recommendation.
Of course, of course. Well, as we wrap up the show, just want to thank everybody for watching us live. Sorry, I have a little bit of frog in my throat. Watching us live for those of you who do watch us live, and for anybody listening after the fact, thank you so much for being part of our show. We're having a really good time doing it. We really, really, really appreciate your support as we go on and have you along for the ride. If you do have feedback, we want to hear it. Feedback at applvisionshow.com is an easy way to send us an email. We will see it. We will read it. We will hopefully incorporate that into our next show. Eileen is an Instagram and TikTok wizard. She does all the like fun little clips of our show that I then try to also share to my accounts, but I'm an old lady and sometimes I get it wrong. Instagram was being so weird to me earlier this week where I'm just like, what is happening?
It was down a couple times, I think. It was acting
okay.
weird for everybody.
Yeah.
All good.
But anyway, okay. So big stuff. This was a little bit of a bye week for us. We are gearing up for WWDC. We are excited about it. We hope you are as well. And we're going to go full force, balls to the wall next week when we know more about what's happening.
Cannot wait. I'm so excited. I'm
Me
ready to roll
too.
up my sleeves. Maybe I don't know, have my like boxing armor. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't have boxing armor. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just gonna
Well, you better
like,
get some, Eileen. You've told the people now. You better get some gloves or I'm not doing the show.
I literally was like, should I wear my pajamas and get ready for I don't know. It's 10 o'clock in the morning though. It's not like some super early time like it was last time. So
No. It's I don't know. I'm actually fine with 7 p.m. Pacific, 7 a.m. Pacific,
yeah.
7 p.m. Pacific. Not so
Oh,
much.
no, no, no.
No, that's
No, no,
dinner
no.
time, guys. But yeah, we'll be bringing you the hotness next week, and so excited. And until then, we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to Apple Vision Show. Bye.
You know how sometimes you have a brain fart at the end of the show? I'm like, boxing. Why did I bring that? I have nothing in front of me that
Yeah.
I
I
saw.
mean,
And
I
I was like, where did I come up with that? That is not even in my peripheral, like not even in the essence of anything that I've done lately.
I always
On the
tell
Peloton.
people, I always tell people like when I say something weird and they're like, "What?" I'm like, when you do a lot of podcasts, you sometimes sort of forget what day it is or who you're talking to,
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
you're like kind of going for something, like boxing gloves. Wait, what? No, I don't have
What?
boxing gloves.
Oh, like, why
Yeah.
am I even fighting with Apple? I'm just waiting for information.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There,
It don't
yeah.
make any sense. So
Yeah. I mean,
apologies, everybody. I was like
no,
just
I
trying
mean,
to come up with something better. And I was like, seriously, nothing in my vicinity. There is no boxing gloves or rings. I don't even have my workout equipment in here. It's a totally different room.
I
Whatever.
don't either.
I guess I wanted to fight. I wanted to fight Apple. Like, give me the goods. Give me the great Siri. Make it better.
I don't actually have boxing gloves, but I do. There is a VR workout that is, like it's, you're simulating boxing. So there's no, I mean, I'm not like going up against anything, but it is, it's challenging because you have to square off, your feet in a certain way,
Yeah.
and it's like uppercut or, it's hard
It
for
doesn't
me.
feel natural, right? It doesn't feel
No,
natural.
it doesn't feel natural. And that's why I'm like, I don't want to do it. But when I do, I'm like, that was actually like, that was a good
That was
workout
good.
because I had to try really hard the whole
Okay.
time.
Do you feel
know?
it afterwards? Do you
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like parts of
Oh,
your
yeah.
body? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That's when you know it's a workout.
there's so much like, it's like people go like, oh, it's just like punching. It's like, nah, it's your whole body,
Yeah.
you
The way
know?
you got to move it
I mean,
means
I
you're
would
working
never go
different
into
parts
a
of your body.
boxing ring and be like, come at me. I'm good at this.
I could do this with my
But
neck.
in VR, I'm fine.
I got this. I do this in VR all the time, right? Right? And then you're
Yep.
like, oh yeah.
Zero chance I would win that fight.
Zero
Nope.
chance.
Nope. Not happening.
All right. Let me end the stream here. Bye everybody.
Bye,
Have a good
everybody.
rest of your week. The show will get posted later tonight. Good times, right? All right. Bye, everybody.
Indeed.
Thanks for
Bye.
being here.